Israel-Gaza Iran War News Live Update. UN warns miscalculation might exacerbate Hezbollah-Israel clash. A miscalculation along Lebanon's southern border might spark a wider conflict between Hezbollah and the Israeli military, two UN officials in Lebanon warned Saturday. United Nations Special Coordinator for Lebanon Janine Hennis-Plasschaert and Chief of UN Peacekeeping Operations in Lebanon Aroldo Lazaro were very concerned about the border escalation. Iran-backed Hezbollah launched the heaviest missile and drone barrage in 8 months of fighting Israel in parallel with the Gaza war last week. The threat of mistake leading to a sudden and larger conflict is extremely serious, the two officials wrote Saturday. Negotiations are underway between the US and France to end Lebanon's southern border conflict. Hezbollah won't stop firing until Israel's Gaza offensive ends, US Central Command said. The Palawan-flagged, Ukrainian-owned, Polish-operated M/V Verbena crew submitted a distress call Thursday because it could not manage fires caused by the Iran-backed rebels' two cruise missile attack. CENTCOM claimed on X, formerly Twitter, that another cargo ship saved the crew. The Iranian frigate Iri in Jamaran was 8 nautical miles from M/V Verbena and did not respond to the distress call, CENTCOM claimed. The missile attack severely injured a sailor, who US forces removed. On Wednesday, a marine drone damaged the M/V Tudor off the rebel-held city of Hodeidah, causing major flooding, according to the British Navy's United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations. The Red Sea vessel is adrift. US destroys drones, missiles in Houthi-held Yemen. 1 year after the Houthis took Sana'a, the Saudi-led military intervened to support the government. Yemen's war has killed hundreds of thousands of people, mostly through fighting or indirect causes like sickness or hunger. Most of the population depends on aid. The neutral Swiss government invited more than 160 countries and groups to a massive, high-level summit with him earlier this year to start a peace process and prepare for future negotiations. Friday, the Swiss government announced 100 countries and organizations had signed up. 50 nations, including France, Germany, Japan, Argentina, Fiji, and Somalia, are sending leaders. Zelensky opened the meeting by saying, "We have succeeded in bringing back to the world the idea that collaborative efforts may stop conflict and achieve a just peace." The summit represents all continents and nations, large and small. Ukraine's Zelensky heads to Manila to meet Marcos. After attending a Group of 7 summit in Italy, US President Joe Biden left for his star-studded election campaign event in Los Angeles late Friday, despite Zelensky's urgent plea. Vice President Kamala Harris and Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, represent the US. China and Russia did not send officials to the peace meeting, and Zelensky accused them of encouraging smaller countries to boycott it and ignore his efforts. Russia, which was not invited, has criticized the first high-level conference, saying peace talks without Moscow's participation or consideration of its interests are meaningless. China has tacitly supported the Kremlin but continues to portray itself as neutral in the Ukrainian crisis. The Swiss government says this is the first of many meetings and that Russia must be involved in the peace process. Zelensky presented Ukraine's 10-point peace plan to world leaders at the Group of 20 summit in Indonesia in November 2022. The inaugural summit at Beggenstock in central Switzerland will focus on it. Zelensky wants to prioritize nuclear safety, food security, the release of prisoners of war, and the return of Ukraine's children seized by Russia among the 10 criteria. At the G7 summit in Fasano, southern Italy, Biden and his counterparts from the world's major industrialized democracies pledged strong and unified